We're here with I'm not gonna say the infamous,
Notorious.
the famous Ed Morrissey, my brother from another mother. He's definitely the better looking half. Clearly.
You have the better hair.
I do have the better hair.
You do have the better hair.
I do have the better hair, but you got the better tie.
Yeah, you like this tie? It comes with its own battery supply, which is really nice.
Ed, of course, is with hotair.com. Fabulous website. In fact, before I was with Human Events, would do videos for you guys, and when Michelle was still with you. So great work. Love everything you do. I know you're at CPAC every year. What's the highlight for you for CPAC?
I think the highlight for me is getting out and meeting some of the other folks in our industry. You know, the other bloggers, some of the bloggers that are out there on Blogger Row, the people who are really doing this because they love doing it. You know, you and I have been very fortunate in this industry. You know, we make a living at it. We're doing really well. But the people who are here because they want to be involved, they just want to be out here, get the message back to their state, and local area where they're blogging, those people are great. And you know, Blogger Lounge is no longer a row because it's a whole room, right? But Blogger Lounge up there is just awesome, and they're doing a great job in running it up there.
Now, talk about how bloggers have really changed the dynamic of how media is covered. Because now a lot of stories, I mean, you're breaking stories in the blogosphere or serving as an accountability for the mainstream media when they report misinformation, which they do quite frequently.
One of the interesting aspects of how the difference between how things are being reported here and being reported in the media, Romney was up. Was it Thursday, I think, Romney was speaking. I thought he gave a really good speech, very focused on attacking Obamonomics. And the media reported as Romney avoids talking about health care, which actually in retrospect, yeah, he did a little bit. But I mean, the point of his speech was attacking the economic policy of the Obama administration, and that's his strength. Economic policy is his strength. And so the media coverage, in this case, it wasn't wrong, but it sort of missed the point. And it also missed the fact that Romney actually did a pretty good job here. I've seen some great speeches. We just posted up Herman Cain's speech, for instance, which was, you had people coming out there saying they had tears in their eyes after listening to Herman Cain speak. And you and I have both heard Herman talk. You know, he's great. Seeing some of the other potential candidates out there addressing CPAC, talking about the Reagan legacy, which is really big this year because this is a centennial. And just all of this, I think it's, that part of it, to me, is what the media misses. Because they're looking for like the little hit-and-run stories. Partly because they're not terribly invested in CPAC. We understand that. They're looking at the presidential race because that's the big story, and I understand that too. But very few of them, there are a couple, but very few of them are interested in actually immersing themselves in this event and getting an idea of exactly what it really is. And so as a result, unless you're here, you're not going to get, unless you're here and you're looking at the bloggers who are reporting these things, you're not really going to get the full flavor of what's going on here at CPAC.
The CPAC has been interesting this year in that we've had an appearance from Donald Trump. We've had an appearance from a Sarah Palin lookalike. The rent is too damn high candidate stopped by. Dale Peterson was here. You remember Dale Peterson? And Richard Dreyfuss. Richard Dreyfuss, I know you got to interview Richard Dreyfuss. I interviewed Richard Dreyfuss. I think Richard Dreyfuss was drunk at 10 a.m. in the morning, but how did your interview go with him?
He's an interesting guy. I was interested in his initiative, the Dreyfuss Initiative, which is to introduce better civics education, which I think actually is a really good cause because you talk to people don't understand how government works. There was a study done by, was it called Intercollegiate Studies Institute, a 5-year study, 30,000 respondents. Only 50% of the people who took that test could identify the 3 branches of government in a multiple choice test, where they had the right answer in front of them and only half of them could find. I mean, that's almost you know, like random choice, 50%. It was just awful. Civics education in the United States is just awful. 27% of them thought that the Electoral College was the school that politicians went to learn how to run for office. When you're a blogger, you know, you're trying to rely on the fact that your audience is going to understand politics. And I'll say blogger audiences are a lot more sophisticated than the general audience. But you have to ask yourself, the rest of the country, the media is feeding the rest of the country, right? and the education system here in the United States is feeding the rest of the country. They're pretty underserved, I would say. At best, they're pretty underserved by this. So I was interested in that, in what he was doing there. He's kind of an odd duck. He's nice enough, kind of an odd duck.
You're avoiding the question of him being drunk.
Well, I have no specific information one way or the other about
I'm just
that.
saying, he smelled like booze. He kind of looked a little hungover. Not that I know what it is to be like hungover at CPAC.
I've never been hungover at CPAC, so I have no idea what that's like.
Is it refreshing to see thousands of young people here?
Absolutely. I think the image that people have of conservative activism is that it's a bunch of old guys, smoking cigars and putting their feet up on ottomans and, plotting the destruction of the world sort of thing. I don't have the hair for that. Otherwise I'd be smoking a cigar and putting my feet up on an ottoman. But no, this is a tremendous amount of energy here. A lot of young people are here. Tremendous number of young people are here. And that's because conservatism is the vital movement. It's the vital political movement. It is the anti-establishment movement in the United States. And the Tea Party proved that. It's the anti-establishment movement. The tax and spend, democratic liberal policies, that's the establishment. You want to be where it's hip? You come to CPAC. This is where it's hip, man.